Well, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Formula Yap. I'm Elbert.
I'm Kevin.
This week, discuss the mayhem that is Monaco. We
Wild race.
preview Canada, Lance Stroll's home race, and we discuss stuff that's happening off the track and in the world of motorsport as a whole. So, rewind it back about a week now to Monaco. It was as we know, Monaco not really the most exciting or the most action-packed races. But everyone says it's a procession, but we did get the procession we finally wanted as every F1 fan. Charles Leclerc, the Monegasque, takes home his first home Grand Prix victory.
And I just want to say to the whoever's listening, uh, check out our earlier episode. I called it. I called it. Friday night. I called it. So I'm not gonna say that I'm the sole reason he won, but I think I'm part of the reason. I think I helped will it into existence.
You might have done. I said, I think I said the opposite. I said he wasn't going to break the curse. So I'm sorry, Charles Leclerc fanboys, fangirls, and to the nation, to the Principality of Monaco. I am truly sorry. I have let down your knight in shining armor. But it was a beautiful race. I mean, obviously, as we know, but Monaco, the, the race itself, just a parade more than anything. Qualifying
Right.
is where it's at. And we saw Charles Leclerc obviously take pole position, and obviously in Monaco, track pole position pretty much guarantees the win. But let's go down the order. Let's start with Q1. Some big surprises in the bottom five in Q1. Checo, I believe, was eliminated in Q1 as the Red Bull was just struggling all weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you have any thoughts? I mean, that's your boy. It's your boy, no? That's your boy Checo.
Yeah,
Happened.
it was really surprising. I tuned in the morning to the qualifying a little bit late, so it was already Q2. I like to go down the list. I expected to see the two Red Bulls up there. I didn't expect Checo to be first or second, but I expected him to be maybe fourth, fifth. I couldn't find his name, and I was like, "Am I tripping?" No, he was knocked out Q1 alongside the two Saubers, Kick and Logan Sargent. They were eliminated. And so, yeah, it was wild to see that. And then you see Max Verstappen just struggling. So he put in some great laps, but he overall he struggled and ended up in sixth place. The commentators did a great job of letting us know that normally the way that you qualify is the way the race is where you end up in the race. And honestly, that is true for the most part. That is how they ended up. Uh, so it was sad to see Sergio Perez out, knowing that he probably wasn't going to be able to recover, and that's not even knowing what was going to happen.
Oh no, most definitely not. I mean,
But
yeah, I mean, qualifying was the most action. Is like Monaco. That's where the action is. And even then, I don't think anyone was expecting. I mean, yes, Red Bull was strong on a weekend, but we're really expecting Checo out of Q1 and Max only good for a sixth fastest. Really, um, it was shocking. And then we get to the mayhem that happened. Lap one, turn one.
right,
Your boy, yeah, we're gonna bring it back to Checo because somehow this weekend was just about Checo.
yeah,
If you
Checo had
wanna,
a
that's your boy. I'm gonna let you take this, bro.
sure. So Checo Perez, so much has happened, but let's start since the race. But let's start with the race itself. He was not doing very well. He was fighting with the two Haas cars. He had an overtake, I think, early on in the beginning. He had a nice little overtake, But they're going into that turn one. I've looked at I saw it happen. I went back and resaw the race to see what happened. Is there something I missed? You see Magnussen coming down the straight. It's Checo in between two Haas. It's Hulkenberg on the left, Checo in the middle, and Magnussen on the right. A very unholy Haas sandwich. Let's stop there. Pause. We have Magnussen behind Checo. His front wheels are just a little bit behind Checo's rear wheels. Magnussen's right rear wheel clips the wall, causing him to overcompensate and shift left, tapping Checo's car, tapping his right rear wheel, and he spins into the wall. It's a really bad hit. It's a testament to two things. It's a testament to how far we've come in terms of engineering, because the fact that that car survived the the crash. He survived the crash. Just obviously shaked up, but he was able to walk out of the car. That it didn't burst into flames. Let's remember the horrendous crash that his name Roman Grosjean experienced. So it was a similar crash. Could have been much worse. Checo survived. Everyone was safe. Hulkenberg a little shaken up, but his car didn't receive major damage. Same with Magnussen, not major damage. Causes the Red Bull to lose out, which was really unfortunate because they were already struggling. They've been struggling the past 2, 3 races. Struggling is a relative term. They're still competitive. They're still in there. I think this was just one of those things that now in retrospect, the team was getting ready to announce what we today, and I'll touch on it a little bit early because I can tell that it was planned. This whole announcement with Checo being having his contract extended for 2 more years. If you see the announcement, the reel that they did was an homage to Checo Perez's Monaco win 2 years ago. So this was supposed to be a planned PR stint where obviously they were supposed to do well. I'm sure they were hoping for a Red Bull 1-2.
Mm-hmm. You having a stroke there, buddy? We lost Kevin. All right. I'm gonna let the silence sit. Well, he gets his shit sorted.
Isn't it? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. You know, this could have been very well planned, but pretty sure they had pen to paper. Red Bull and Checo had this. They decided to settle out the differences, or maybe Red because obviously the main issue was that Red Bull only wanted to give him a 1-year extension because they had other drivers that they were interested, in their sister, with their sister team, and Checo was like, no, I can't do that. I need something. I need something a little more secure. There's that difference. It seems like Red Bull caved. I don't want to say caved, but they were like, you've done good by us. Excuse me, we'll give you that 2-year extension. But yeah, I don't know. Just like I said, just a poor weekend. If it was planned, who knows? That's why maybe they delayed it. We'll never know. We don't work for Red Bull PR. But no, that was a big shunt from Perez. In at turn one, and obviously that brings up the red flag. But not before not before another incident happens. The French Civil War, right? Which I don't think is a
Right.
real historical event. But it seems like in the world of Formula One, there's always a French Civil War going on, and in this case, it seems to be two parties between the working class, Esteban Ocon, and the bourgeoisie, Pierre Gasly. They got into it entering the tunnel, where a Rocket League move was pulled, essentially, which caused Ocon to retire. Luckily, Pierre finished P10. Still got a point for the team, but missed out. That incident missed a gate. Oh wait, I'm having a stroke. That incident threw away some easy points for Alpine because they were, both cars were in the points, and that led to some very, very strong words from team principal Bruno Fama.
Yeah, so it was. Sorry, I'll just.
Take it away.
It was. I saw the footage. Also, touching on your point, there was a French Civil War, which inspired the American Civil War, which then inspired some other uh, independent Civil War uh, style movements. Anywho, sorry, no, the French. What am I saying? I'm rambling. Whatever. That's not the point. We're talking about racing. This ain't the History Channel. The
Yes.
point is, I seen the footage. Alcon looked like he was going for a space that he thought was open. That's fine. I get it. The only thing is, uh, Hugh, Sebastian Vettel, he came in like a torpedo with no situational awareness, which is unfortunate because he wasn't being a team player. Clearly, he was fighting with his teammate, so he should have been a little more gentle, a little bit more mindful. The result of that, and I'll let you get back to what you were about to say. The result of that is that now, again, Ocon has been under fire for years now. He's been able to stay and fight because he is a decent driver. But as a result of the constant mistakes, not just with Gasly, but with even throughout Alonso's times, uh, when Alonso was his partner. So F1 broke the news this week. Esteban Ocon to leave Alpine at season end. So he's already scheduled to leave. He will not be racing for Alpine this time next year. But there's been rumors that Alpine is thinking to even replace him for a few races starting from the next race. So Alcon's time in Formula One is coming to an end, maybe even sooner than he thinks. So it's unfortunate, but after seeing this past race, when you do that to your own teammate, it's not a good. What were you gonna say?
No, I mean, brought up everything I wanted to bring up. Yeah, look, so we're gonna backtrack a bit. Bruno Fama, after the race, said to in an interview to the media, quote, this is by translation rather because he was speaking in French as the French do, those fucking pricks. It's sad, this kind of incident. It's exactly what we didn't want to see, and there will be the appropriate consequences. Now, we didn't know what the consequences were going to be, but rumor was spinning around that Ocon was going to get suspended for the Canadian Grand Prix, which one doesn't make sense in my opinion, and two didn't fucking happen. I mean, Ocon released a statement saying, long story short, I'm gonna race. I'm sad I'm getting all this abuse. I'm gonna race. That's how it is. I think the consequence that Bruno's put out here is that he's the team has made the executive decision to announce that he's leaving or that they won't be continuing their decision, continuing with the driver. So it really puts Ocon at a disadvantage. I feel heading into the driver market for 2025 and beyond, right? Because obviously all the teams on the grid now know, hey, there's a driver available, but which is I guess a good thing because that's one more candidate, but also a bad thing because that reputation that he's had, that he's carrying, that he's not a team player, not just from his time with Gasly, but from his previous from stints with his previous teammates, Alonso, Danny Rick, Checo Perez.
That's right. When they were at Force
When
India.
they were at Force India, so that reputation is going to fall. Is it unfair? No. Has it been over dramatized a bit, as he has put it? Probably a little bit,
Yeah.
but you can't deny that that reputation is going to be carrying around with him, and that's going to be a negative. That's going to be weighing against him when these teams consider their options for 2025 and possibly beyond.
Yeah, and it's not that we're saying he's a bad driver. I think it's just that his style of racing is not suited for Formula One. I think if you were to put him in a type of race that there can be more physical, I'm talking NASCAR, I'm talking rallying, I'm talking even in IndyCar you can be a little more, even at a few hypercar races, right? These are ones where there can be a little bit more contact. uh Maybe in something like that, in endurance racing, he could thrive, and I can see it. He can thrive because he is fast, he is a good driver, but just his specific style of racing isn't exactly suited for Formula One. Formula One, there, there has to be a bit of finesse with the to be paired with the aggression, and he hasn't shown that. And it's not because he hasn't had the resources, the people around him to teach him that, because like you said, he's studied with and has been paired with really great drivers, which I don't know if it's an ego thing, a pride thing to say, hey, teach me what you know. He's been paired with Daniel Ricciardo, who is an aggressive driver, who is someone who knows how to overtake really well. Could have learned something there. Alonso, a great driver, a great racer, could have learned things there. So I don't know what it is, but yeah, I think maybe this isn't the sport for him. The racing, what's the thing? The racing practice.
This isn't his. I don't want to say field. Um, this open speeders or Formula One. You're saying Formula One might not be his or his field. Might not be
His
his
discipline.
expertise.
Might be his racing discipline. There might be another one better suited for him.
Okay, you know what, I see that, and you know what, when we talk about the driver market and the other stuff that we've got going on later on, I'll bring that up definitely. But that was Monaco, the jewel of the Formula One calendar. That's in the past. We look now. I'm having a stroke. We now look forward to Canada, a
Yes.
circuit loved by the fans and the drivers alike. The circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We head to Montreal this upcoming weekend, and after I mean, we saw after what happened at Monaco and how and how the standings have shaped up, we are looking at quite an I don't want to say interesting. It's kind of understating it. We're looking at possibly a real battle in both titles, the drivers and the constructors.
Constructors, that's right.
So let's backtrack. Let's take a look at. I guess yeah. Let's recap where the point standings are after Monaco. We start off with the driver standings. Max Verstappen still leads, but he's not running away with the championship. Charles Leclerc is only 31 points behind after his win at Monaco. Lando Norris, with consistent podiums this season and his first win in Miami, sits behind Charles by some 20 points. 25, I think, 25 points at 113. Carlos Sainz in fourth, and then Checo Perez in fifth. Just a whole 62 points, two whole race wins almost, or more than that behind Max. And then and then from there it just breaks away. Oscar in sixth, the Mercedes duo in seventh and eighth, Fernando Alonso in ninth, and Yuki Tsunoda stuck behind an Aston Martin sandwich in 10th. Lance obviously the bottom of that sandwich in 11th. Somehow Oliver Behrman, the stand-in, still 12th. has as many points as Nico Hulkenberg and more points than
Insane.
Daniel Ricciardo. It's crazy. I mean, he's only been in for 1 year. It's kind of wild. 3 drivers still yet to score. Obviously, the Kick Saubers have yet to score after Albon scored for Williams last race. And then obviously Logan Sargent because it's Logan.
Has he ever gotten points in Formula One? He has a few
Yeah,
points,
he
right?
did. He got a point last year in
That's right.
Austin after Charles and Lewis got disqualified for a technical infringement.
I see.
So
So he
I'm not
can't
saying he got lucky. I'll be real. He got really
yeah,
lucky.
he didn't earn it.
No, but I mean, bro drove up from the bottom of the grid to 12. I mean, you
Points are
gotta
points.
count that
That's
for
right.
something. You gotta count that for
Points
some
are points.
from wherever he started. I forget. I'm not gonna go back. Points are points, exactly.
I'm gonna
So
be nice on my patriot buddy, my fellow American. I'm gonna be nice.
yes, there. And then the constructors championship is where it's getting really juicy. Red Bull Racing lead the way 276, but Ferrari not that far behind. They could honestly close this gap in the next couple races if they keep it up.
It's only a
252. They're
24
just
point difference.
less than a race win. Less than a race win behind. And then McLaren solo third, 184. And then it's a bad. It seems like it's split. I said the last episode it was Formula A and Formula B where it's like top 5, bottom 5. Looking at this constructors standing table, it looks like it's like your top 3. That's your Formula A. Then Formula B is Mercedes to Mercedes, Aston Martin, and RB. Right. So those are your middle. That's like your midfield. And then 7 to 10, be for fucking real. 7, the bottom 4 teams, Haas, Williams, Alpine, and Sauber, they're really just scrapping for that last point in the case that Lance Stroll just bins it because he's fucked, right? Awful, awful driver. But like I said, you look at the top 2 in each championship, it's looking incredibly juicy, and we're
Right.
in for an exciting time here at Montreal.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a great race. It's a great track. There's gonna be a lot of overtakes, a lot of switching. It's one of those races that you and here's the thing that similar to Monaco, the where we see the difference and the excitement in Monaco is because it's a very strategic track to where how you pit and how you manage your tires is very important. Since we had that crash, drivers were and that red flag drivers were able to not have to worry about pitting as much. But Canada won't be that way. There will be multiple pit stops. There will be a lot of overtakes. There's a speed trap. There's 2 DRS zones. So it's going to be 70 laps, just chock full of high speed driving, which is what we want to see. So it's going to be really interesting. And I let's do this. Who do you have your money on? Let's say what driver do you think is gonna win and what team is gonna get the most points?
Ooh, okay. So driver to win and team to get the most points. Oh, I'll tell you this. I'll say this. Red Bull will not be scoring 100% Red Bull not scoring the most points. I don't think so.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
don't think so. I think if respectfully, I think Max will take pole position and a win. Um, you know, as much as I wanted, as much as Red Bull have been struggling these past couple races, and the fact that Canada, so the issue at Monaco is all the curves and the slow corners that Monaco has, and those curves as well. Those track characteristics are what really expose Red Bull, the RB20's weakness, right? Um, that is the car is so. I mean, that car is so solid at handling in terms of suspension. It's I think it's too good, right? Let me rephrase that. I think it's the other way around. I think their aero package, they've gotten the fundamentals of the aero package nailed down to a point where their window is very narrow. If they try tweaking other parts of the car, it will come at a cost to the aerodynamic performance, right? Which is what they had to balance here at Monaco with all the curves and stuff, and what we might see again in Montreal because the circuit is very similar in terms of sweeping corners where you have to attack the curbs. But hopefully they've learned something from Monaco to take it in and improve the car. I think Max will still take the win, respectfully. I think if they've gotten enough data to apply it, and then obviously this is a normal race weekend, so 3 practice sessions, so they've got plenty of time, the Red Bull racing team, to hone the setup in. But do I think they're going to get the most points? No. I think McLaren are going to get the most points. They're going to, for some reason, that discrepancy between Max and Checo, despite Checo, I don't know. It's something about Checo just lacks sometimes. I don't know what he's lacking. Just doesn't have that fight. He's a number 2, yes, to Max, but he's not a consistent number 2 like Lewis, like Fauci was to Lewis during the Mercedes era, right? Checo's going to be probably 5th or 6th, and we'll start the race from 5th or 6th, and he's got 2 McLarens in front and 2 Ferraris. Who, let's be real, those McLarens are fucking.
They're incredible.
They're 180 from last season, incredible, right? And they even said to themselves they're impressed at the performance that they're seeing on the track is high. The data that they're seeing on track is impressive. It's beating the expectations from the simulator and all the simulation work that they've done. And they're attributing that to they're attributing that to many things. Maybe the drivers are finding increased confidence in the car, yada yada yada. Or maybe they're just downplaying because they didn't want to be humble or not, whatever the case may be. But McLaren look like a really well-rounded car. On the right day they'll be the fastest car on the grid, but they are firmly in that top 3. I mean, the constructor standings prove it. They are holding solid 3rd. Double the points of Mercedes. So I think McLaren will have the most points. And if we want to talk about podium while we're at it,
Yes, give me your 1, 2, 3.
Max
You
is
have
going to win
already
the race.
established.
I think Max is going to win the race. I think it's a McLaren double podium. Give me Oscar P2, Lando P3.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
I
I
think,
put Oscar above Lando. That's going to be a fucking spicy take.
no, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm finding myself inclined to agree because let me give you my 1, 2, 3. I I do think Max Verstappen's gonna win. Just because he's gonna be. I know that when he got home from Monaco, he went straight to his apartment in Monaco, his house, and just hopped on the simulator. I bet you, what's his girlfriend's name? Kelly Piquet, right?
Yes.
I bet you she has not seen him this whole week. I bet you she did not see him for at least 2 days after Monaco. He was just in his room, just on the simulator, just driving. So I think he's gonna come back with like this crazy killer Mamba mentality. But for 2 and 3, I'm inclined to put Oscar on 3. I think it's
Okay.
gonna be a 1, 2, 3. We're gonna see 3 teams up there. I think it's gonna be uh because I think it's gonna be Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren. I
Okay.
think I'm trying to not be emotional about it. Is I think Carlos Sainz is a stronger racer. I don't think he's faster than Charles, but I think he has more. He has a better ability to race. I think Charles is the fastest driver on the grid, and I can back that up with his pole positions. But I think Carlos is a bit of a better racer. He
Hey,
has been struggling a little the past two races. I know that Charles is technically still the number one driver. So with strategy included, I think it's going to be Verstappen, Leclerc, Piastri, and
Leclerc on pole.
it'll
Oh,
be
sorry,
a toss
Leclerc on the
up.
podium. Sorry, and then Piastri. Okay.
I think it'll be a toss up between I think we'll see a fight for third. It's going to be Piastri, Checo, and Sainz, and you can toss that up. It can be any one of them three on the third place. They're going to be fighting the whole race. And you can mark my words there. It's going to be a battle for third till the last second or till the last 5 laps. It's going to be Piastri, Checo, Sainz, or mix that up in any way. Put them in a hat, pick one out. It's going to be a pretty
Ooh.
tough battle for third.
I guess we gotta watch. You know what? We're watching this race together then, because this is we're bringing this race back to a normal time zone for North Americans, so we'll
Yes,
be able to
it's gonna
watch
be
this
nice.
no problem.
Mhm.
Wonderful, beautiful. I love it. I love it. Now we're done with Canada. We're done with Canada. Let's move on to stuff that's happening just in the paddock and just generally in the world of motorsport. Before we get to the Formula One paddock, I'm going to talk about IndyCar because obviously there's
Talk to me about
no,
IndyCar.
yeah, there was no Formula One this week. So I was like, I'm bored as fuck. I'm not gonna, what am I gonna do? I realized, oh shit, IndyCar's on. So I decided to hop on a Peacock because, NBC owns the fucking, broadcast rights to IndyCar, and I decided to watch it.
I'm at
Just
NBC.
thank you. Yeah, shout out NBC. God, those guys are. Please, I don't want to rant about their fucking covers. Those guys are awful. Anyways, so I'll give you the quick rundown of what happened. The race itself, terrible, absolutely awful. So they raced in Detroit this week, downtown Detroit, around the Renaissance Center, in front of the headquarters of General Motors. Right, second year they've raced in Detroit on this circuit. Oh my god, so awful. It's honestly like it's the shortest track in the IndyCar calendar. Only 9 turns, by the way. Yes,
Oh, what?
it's only 9 turns. It's like less than 2 miles or something, and it's honestly terrible. It's like if you took honestly, if you took like the tightness of Monaco,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like how
Right.
tight Monaco is with the slowness of Monaco,
Okay.
right?
Right.
And just made it ghetto.
Okay.
That's Detroit. That is the Detroit Grand Prix at the Renaissance Center. Terrible. It was so bad because I'll tell you why. Right, there were so many incidents that happened. Right, more of the race occurred under caution, full course yellow, than it did under like green flag conditions. Right. So when I say full course yellow, I pretty much that's equivalent to safety car. It's equivalent to like a
Okay.
safety car in Formula One. More of the race took place, I believe, under like I said, caution, safety car, full course yellow, than it did under normal like green flag all track clear racing conditions. It was terrible, absolutely awful. But it did make for some really interesting action, actually. I'm not gonna lie, because of all the incidents that took place, all the crashes, incidents that happened. The last 20 some odd ish laps were amazing. You had Scott Dixon just trying to save his fuel because they're allowed to refuel during pit stops in IndyCar, right? And Scott
Right.
Dixon was, I think, I wasn't paying attention. He pitted, I think, somewhere around like lap 50 or 60 or something. Um, and he was trying to conserve his fuel for so long because I think with how the race was going, I think he would have run out of fuel like a couple laps before the end if he didn't conserve. So he conserved, and obviously he won the race. But like I said, the race itself, I could focus on Rufus the track, just how awful it is. But I'm gonna go back a little bit to final practice. This is one driver, right? So obviously, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. It's Pride Month. Happy Pride Month out there,
Happy
right?
Pride to all
Yes, to
y'all. Those who
everyone.
celebrate.
I know. Yeah, right. We love. Be who you are. You know, love who you want. Right. Anyways,
Right.
so the only you might think, oh, why am I bringing up Pride Month out of nowhere? Now, the reason why I bring it up is during final practice, there's this driver. Okay, this one driver, who races for team. Shit, I actually have no clue what team he races for.
The team names are a little
Sorry.
complicated, right?
Yes, it is very much so. It's very weird. It's pretty much named after a bunch of rich people. Anyways, so this guy Santino Ferrucci, I believe, who's been in IndyCar for a little while now. He races for AJ Foyt Racing. Okay, and he got into some tight spaces on track with
Mhm.
the Andretti Global duo. There's of Kyle Kirkwood and Colton Herta. So what happened was, right, this is final practice. They were trying to get a clean lap in before the end, right? Ferrucci
Right.
comes in on Kyle Kirkwood, pretty much, right? And Kirkwood has to take evasive action. I believe this is like turn 7 or turn 8, like 7 or 8, I believe. Yeah, turn 7 to turn 8, right before pit entry, right? So Kirkwood has to take evasive action out the way, right? Ferrucci floors it, gets caught up behind Kirkwood's teammate Colton Herta. Okay, so obviously pretty pissed, pretty pissy there. Nearly causes a collision to Santino Ferrucci. Because Kirkwood is trying to hold people back to maybe give him and Colton Herta, a clean lap in final practice, right? So that happened, and then after practice happened, they got heated. Ferrucci just threw his, just got out the car and just started having at it with Kyle Kirkwood and Colton Herta both, right?
Like straight up fighting.
Not straight up, not. They did get physical, but they weren't throwing punches. This wasn't
Okay,
like
okay.
some Pacquiao Mayweather shit,
It didn't turn
right?
into a hockey game.
No, no, it didn't. It didn't, right? So,
And,
so
and
after
so
that
then,
happens, so that all happens. That's not the juicy part, though, right? I mean, yeah, that's all juicy, but the juiciest part for me is what was said in the in the post media in the media sessions after,
tell
right?
me.
So Kirkwood
Enlighten me.
was interviewed by the commentators from NBC,
Okay.
right? Ferrucci said I'm gonna read this word for word. I'll try to, right? Ferrucci said he was upset with you because he said you made the first move a couple corners ago. So this is this seems to be unrelated or related to what caused Ferrucci to act up this way. Kirkwood replied, "Of course he's gonna say that. Everyone stops here. Everyone has to wait. Get your gap. Get a clean lap in. It's practice. Relax." And that's not what he did. He decided to do it to me, and he did it to Colton too. They nearly collided. I don't know what he's doing. His lap is already ruined. He just ruined his next lap too. It's just dumb, dangerous. He drove right into me, purposely trying to drive me into the wall. And then I went up and tried to talk to him about it, and then he grabs me, shaking me. It's like, what are you getting mad at me for? It's insane. But we've seen it before with him. So Ferrucci, just based off Kyle Kirkwood's comments, looks like Santino Ferrucci is not a well-liked guy in the IndyCar
I
paddock.
see.
Yes. So, right, and then Colton Herta, Kyle Kirkwood's teammate, and a somewhat familiar name in the Formula One paddock with the drama that happened a couple years ago. Not gonna have to touch about. No need to touch on that. It's also interviewed, and here's what he had to say about Mr. Ferrucci. I don't even know what I did. I don't know. Guy's a head case. Not really sure what I did to make him mad. passed me before the alternate line. We're all waiting for our gaps, and he passed me. So I passed him back and ruined his lap. He can do his thing. We'll do ours. He's driving a Penske car to like P20, like the 5th consecutive weekend. So I'm happy with what I'm doing here. We don't have time for him and his shenanigans at the back. So I'm gonna, before I get to what Ferrucci said about this, you might be wondering, what the hell? What do you mean Penske? This team name stuff. What's going on? So, like in Formula One, you know how there's like customers and manufacturer teams and customers, right? Like teams for engines and parts and stuff. You have a similar thing here in IndyCar. This it's different in the sense that there's only 2 engine manufacturers, like Chevrolet and Honda, but and then a lot of racing teams. But these teams can partner up with other teams to help with like engineering, the engineering side of things. All cars are the same, by the way. It's a spec series, which means all the cars are built by the same manufacturer, built to the same spec. There's no development race there. This is purely just like an engineering and a driver, like motorsport more than anything, right? So AJ Foyt are partnered with Team Penske, which is like one of the top teams in IndyCar. They're like one of the big 3, I guess you could say, right? They're partnered with AJ Foyt, like kind of like how Haas has their technical alliance with Ferrari, right? Type beat. Right. It's very similar to that. So, anyways, that's what we've gotten. So, anyways, there's some more choice words from both Kirkwood and Herta, but that's not what that's not it. So, Ferrucci, Ferrucci hits back, right? This is what he had to say, right? We're in practice. I'm on a lap that's going to put us P3. I know everyone is fighting traffic. I'm coming down the hill, just turns into somebody and slides the car into you, he said. Such a dickish move, man. I grew up karting with him, Kyle Kirkwood. Known him a long time. Always been better with him in racecraft, so yeah, I've never seen him do something like that dumb. But, you saw him turn into Joseph Newgarden yesterday. It's a shame. It's a tight track. We're way quicker than this, and it would have been nice to get one quick lap. So it's fine. It is what it is. I wish I had the full transcript of what he said regarding Colton Herta. But he pretty much said this. He pretty much said Herta did the same thing, and then described Colton Herta as Kirkwood's quote little boyfriend teammate. Yeah. So pretty much Ferrucci's trying to say that Kirkwood and Herta are lovers, boyfriend teammate type beat, right? Kind of a low blow. Can be seen as homophobic given the context. It's Pride Month too, right? Like those words are gonna carry a little bit extra meaning. IndyCar didn't like him, obviously. So I pulled him aside and said, "You can't say that. It's Pride Month." And actually, I'm gonna read this. I'm actually gonna read this piece of an article from the Race's Jack Benyon. On Ferrucci's comments, IndyCar spoke with Ferrucci after track action and expressed its quote displeasure, unquote, with his comments. He was reportedly quote very apologetic and quote recognized his remarks reflected poor judgment. Like IndyCar considered the matter concluded unless it happens again, and he issued an apology, which, to be real, apologies don't mean shit these days. So that was definitely not an IndyCar quickie. I said that was going to be quick. I just yapped for about 15 minutes about Santino Ferrucci and what a prick he is. And Andretti Global, which to most F1 fans, people only know because, F1 won't give him a team slot. They did all right. They did all right this race, but whatever. And then we're gonna slowly circle this back to F1. Who remembers Teo Pourchaire? No one. Sauber Academy driver promised a F1 seat if he won F2, which he did, but Sauber said, "Fuck you, we're not giving you a seat." So now he's racing for Aaron McLaren in IndyCar, right?
Similar to Colton Herta.
Yeah, exactly. So he had a little incident with forgot who. Fuck. Yeah, he had an on-track incident with someone. I forget who. And death. Let me find the fucking article. I have a tweet for some reason. He had an incident with a racer on track. I forget who. Augustine Cantapinto, I believe is what his name is. Let me Google this real quick before I fucking. Oh my god, I'm about to spell Porsche wrong.
That's an incident on the race.
Thank you. Canapino. Thank you. Here we go. Yeah. So he had an incident with Augustine Canapino, sorry. He was penalized for it. He had to give up the places, and in IndyCar, when they tell you, hey, you got to give up the position, you give it back right away. They hand out penalties right away on track, and you'll serve them, or you lose 3 positions. Okay, give up 3 positions. They'll do it.
Okay.
Or it's like a penalty where you have to go, you have to serve your penalty in the pit stop. Okay.
Yeah.
You'll do it like a next pit stop, like you do it your next pit stop, no problem. Right? Just like normal penalties. But anyways, apparently that incident got Teo Pourchaire a lot of flack. Lot of flack. I don't know. I think I honestly don't know. I think Canapino is like Argentinian, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess I haven't looked into it. I just searched up Teo Pourchaire, and apparently he's receiving his death threats, and obviously, Teo Pourchaire released a statement saying, "I'm sad I'm receiving so much hate, and death threats. It's a small incident. For such a small incident, I hope people understand we're all humans, make mistakes, please be kind to each other, and obviously, like any scenario like this, support comes in, with support, the support from, Zach Brown, IndyCar, other drivers, etc. So it was a small incident, right? So and it didn't even matter. Whatchamacallit? Canapino finished 12th in the race. Pourchaire finished in the top 10 as a rookie in IndyCar. Fuck, that's remarkable.
Yeah, no, that's really good.
And I mean, the point. Oh god, the points. I still don't understand the point scoring system. It's so complicated. For 10th place, he somehow got 20 points. I don't know how the scoring works. Someone's gonna have to explain this to me, or I'll have to learn this on my free time. But yeah, he got 20 points that race, and I believe he leads all rookies this season in scoring, if I'm not mistaken. So sucks that Formula One missed out on him, but Aaron McLaren picked up a really nice driver. So in Teo Pourchaire. So I'm happy that Teo Pourchaire has found his seating. Sucks that for such a small incident he's receiving death threats from all over him, but obviously good to have the community backing him. And he'll he's just a rookie as well in IndyCar. He needs time to learn, because obviously IndyCar is much different from Formula 2, Formula 3, Formula 4, and Formula 1, obviously. In terms of how the cars work and the tracks they race on and all that stuff. So take it easy on Teo. He's got a lot to learn. I think
back off on him. Jesus.
He'll do great. Wow, I really said that was gonna be a quickie. That was not a quickie. I think we'll end off with some.
I love it when you take your time, Elbert.
Thank you.
Nice,
I love
slow and full of rhythm.
Yap, just full yap.
Yes, sir.
I think we'll end off with some. We'll end up with some driver market stuff. So, obviously, you brought it up at the start of the episode, right? You kind of hinted at it. Sergio Perez has locked Red Bull and Red Bull. Sorry, I'm having a stroke. Red Bull Racing and Sergio Perez have agreed to a 2-year contract extension that will see him with the team paired alongside Max Verstappen through at least the end of 2026. And with Alpine announcing Esteban Ocon will not be continuing with the French team from the end of the season, maybe even earlier. Who knows? Seems that Ocon is available on the market for 2025 and beyond. Now we have pretty much no change because obviously a free agent is locked. We have gained one extra free agent in Esteban Ocon, but we've locked down Checo to Red Bull. So Red Bull Racing is effectively closed off. Right? We now have a seat. We now have, if I remember correctly, we still have a seat open at Mercedes. Which you know is going to be taken by Kimi Antonelli. Let's be completely honest with ourselves, right? A seat open at Williams. I mean, Antonelli could go there, but that is still very much open. And Williams
So
are
yeah,
exploring their
let me
options.
go through the new graphic, the new updated graphic released by Formula One this morning in light of the new news. Let me load that up for you. So at Ferrari, we have Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, like you said.
Okay.
Verstappen, newly announced. Red Bull, newly announced. Verstappen and Paris. Aston Martin, Alonso, second driver, unconfirmed. What do you think?
Start. Stroll. It's Stroll.
So,
It's
because
Stroll.
daddy's money,
It's
it's
Stroll.
always
Why is this
daddy's
a thing?
money.
Please, it's Stroll. Okay, continue, please.
Okay, and we have Williams, Albon confirmed, Logan Sargent unconfirmed.
Okay. Anyone else?
What do you think?
I see. We're going in order. Logan out. I'm sorry. Logan's out. I love my boy Logan. I was so excited for him when he came into the sport. I was so excited that I bought, the Williams shirt, and Williams made a limited edition tee announcing, Logan's entry into the sport. I was so happy about it. I posted on my Instagram, and I think I might have turned a girl I was talking to away. I don't know, I'm too American for her, I guess, or I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I might have fumbled a bag with the girl because I was so enthusiastic about Logan Sargent entering Formula One. But you know what? That's okay. She's doing great things. I'm doing great things. That's all that matters. Fuck her. But who do I think goes alongside that? Alongside Albon? I honestly could see Valtteri Bottas back at Williams. I think those two, with James Vowles at the helm, and the way he's guiding that team, Doralton, expending this money because they see this as an investment. They believe that Williams can make their way back up to the top. I think Bottas is going to be there 100%. Yep. God damn, is your mic cooked? I can't hear you, boss.
No, I'm good.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so
I
those are
see.
your thoughts. All right.
Mhm.
Let's see. So then we move to Kick Sauber. Kick the bucket Sauber. Kicked off the grid Sauber with Hulkenberg, the prodigal son of, I guess, the sport. His most notable record, most races without a race win. Because that's what you want to be known for, right, folks? Sorry, Hulkenberg, I don't mean to disrespect you. It's
Oh, don't
just a
for,
little
oh, you
easy.
sorry, you can't forget most race starts without a podium as well. Can't
Most race starts without podiums. I'm sorry.
you can't
Hulkenberg, the
forget that.
jokes write themselves. He's signed. There's no one to second him. Is it going to be Bottas? Is it going to be Zhou Guanyu? Is it going to be someone completely new? That rhymed? Heck yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. Sauber, if I wanted, if Audi weren't here, I'd say sell the fucking team. Yes. If Sauber, if if we like with how Sauber are doing right now, if they didn't have the backing of Audi, and if we didn't know, right, that Audi were coming onto the grid as a full works team in 2026, right, I'd say fucking sell out. Honestly, Andretti come knocking on the door. You've already, you tried once and you failed. You can probably buy Sauber again, no problem. But with Audi's backing, with the fact that Audi is going to be turning into a work team in 2026, they're going to want someone that's very dedicated to the project for the long term. Because I mean, Hulkenberg's going to be pushing 40, damn near 40 by 2026, the first year of the Audi works team. I feel like they're going to want someone in now to get acclimated with the team before the team turns into the Audi. The team now known as Hicks Albert turns into the Audi Works team, right? They're gonna want someone that is committed to the project for a while, and they'll be making. They're gonna be pulling the stops out to make sure that's done. Very sizable, very comfortable long-term contract. To show that hey, this project's gonna work out. We want you as part of our project. We see you as part of this project, and this is what we're offering to make it happen. I with Carl, I think I see Carlos Sainz there, absolutely. He's still young, yes, Carlos Sainz, right? Like he's entering the prime of his career right now, and yes, it would be an absolute gamble to jump from Ferrari where he is right now to Audi, but with teams, with Red Bull locked out, Mercedes looking locked out increasingly, as Mercedes look hell bent on getting Kimi Antonelli into that seat for 2025 alongside George Russell, and the fact that I've already said Bottas is going to go back to Williams, right? I think. No, I'm sorry. No, I take that back. I take that back. I think Carlos Sainz goes to Williams. Yes. So I think he has more belief in that. I feel like if between the Williams and the Audi project,
That
Sainz will
is
have more
such a
belief.
spicy
I
take.
will have more. I think Carlos Sainz will have more belief in the Williams project than the Audi project. Even though
So
Audi are
spicy.
offering, probably offering, the full, as much as they can to try to get him in because they're hell bent on him, right? I don't see that happening, right? I think he'll go over to. Carlos Sainz will go to Williams alongside Alex Albon. Both of those drivers are in the prime of their careers, and I think both of them very much have a strong belief. Albon has a strong enough belief in the Valves project at Williams that he's already signed, a multi-year extension. Yes, I think Carlos Sainz is going to be looking at that, seeing, that happen. I think he's going to put more faith there than Audi. Now, in terms of Audi, now I have obviously taken Bottas out of Williams. Where does he go? He's definitely not staying in Audi. I respectfully, he's not. I think Ocon goes to Audi alongside Nico Hulkenberg. Like Ocon's a race winner, right? Proven race winner, podium finisher. Still young, has that fire, has that passion. They're gonna want someone, like I said, to commit to the project long term who can guide that project. I think Ocon, with the fire that he has, I think what Ocon really wants to look for is a team that will prioritize him, more than anything. I think Audi might be the place for him. Nico, not saying he wouldn't be able to do that, right? But to be frank, I think he's only there because of the German heritage. When Audi just wanted a German fucking driver, right? So that's why they picked up Hulkenberg. Because then we're going to pick up Sebastian Vettel out of retirement. No way. Were they going to pick up Nico? I mean, I don't know any other German drivers off the top of my fucking head. So, yeah, that's that. And then you haven't brought up Haas yet, have you? I don't know what other teams you haven't brought up.
No,
So.
I have not brought up Haas. We already covered Ferrari, I believe, right?
Yes.
We already covered Williams. We've covered Mercedes, haven't we? We've covered. We know McLaren already. They're set. The ones that are completely unspoken for: Alpine, RB, Haas.
Okay, I'll start with Haas. It's weird that you haven't chimed in. I feel I should let you chime in. Haas, Behrman, both seats are pretty much available. Yes, right. Because Hulkenberg's
Yes.
out, and talk around the chatter around the paddock is that Kevin Magnussen is increasingly looking likely to lose, given the options that are available in the market. So
Right.
Behrman has to take that seat 100%. I think Ferrari want him. I think Ferrari want him in that seat more than anything. That's not the only reason. I think he has taken a strong. Ollie Behrman has taken let me phrase it. The Haas brass, or I guess the team on the ground. So the team principal. Oh fuck! I forgot his name. I should know his name. God, I have to fucking Google it. Haas team principal. This shit tells me Gunter Steiner. What a fucking thank you. Io Komatsu, and then the engineers on the race engineers, the performance engineers that he works with in the garages. They seem to have a very strong liking to him. He has a strong understanding of the car. He's very technical, very calm, has a lot of input. It seems, especially for someone like of his age and caliber. I think that's what I think Haas are going to be wanting for someone that has that kind of understanding, of the car, and what they would want that as they'll want as Haas try to move up the midfield, right, and eventually try to fight for that top, for the top three, right. Will it happen? Absolutely fucking not. But they need to be better than where they've been the past couple seasons, right? And I think Ollie Bears that is the man to go with. Or they're gonna want Ollie in for sure. Now, who pairs alongside him? I think it's gonna be Valtteri Bottas at Haas alongside Behrman. I think like I said, Valtteri brings a lot of experience from his winning days at Mercedes, and from during the Mercedes era. He's a proven race winner. Yes.
Yes.
He's a proven race winner. He's very calm, and he can play the team game as needed. He was a solid number 2 deputy to Lewis Hamilton, right, during the Mercedes reign. And with his calm demeanor, I think he will be willing to mentor Ollie Behrman, as he works his way through the Formula One paddock, learning the ropes and stuff like that, just like he did with Zhou Guan Yu, when Bottas first moved over to Sauber, which is then known as Alfa Romeo. Zhou has said nice things about having Valtteri as a teammate. So has Lewis. During the reign, I can't see that happening. They're gonna want, especially Haas. They're gonna want someone with experience as well, alongside, now I get a proven rookie. Behrman scored points in the F1 car, so we know he can handle the heat. Yes,
Right.
And knowing Gene Haas, they don't want to put another rookie in. They want someone with experience, consistency, someone that can just that can perform and just bring the car home. Yes, and that guy is Valtteri Bottas for him.
Yeah.
For them. So I think it's going to be Bottas, Behrman at Haas for 2025.
Yeah, so that's a pretty. I'm inclined to agree. I think that we cut that's everyone. You covered Alpine and Red Bull, so I think that's everybody.
Yeah. Actually, no, we haven't covered. Well, Red Bull's covered. We haven't covered RB and Haas. Oh, sorry, RB and Alpine.
Okay.
Sorry. We're gonna speed run this. Right? Alpine. They want Gasly to stay. I think now that Ocon's out the way, Gasly is definitely going to stay. They're gonna bring in. They don't want to fuck this up. They fucked this up with Piastri in the span of 2 years. By the way, Alpine / Renault. They had double world champion and a double rookie world champion Fernando Alonso. They had a protege in Oscar Piastri, and then they had a proven consistent proven performer in Esteban Ocon. Yeah, in 2 years, They lost all 3 drivers. They lost. What's most painful to them is their academy driver. They don't. I think they're not willing to risk. I don't think they are going to want to risk losing Jack Doohan. Yes, he might not have the pedigree that some of these other rookies have, like Oscar Piastri, or he might not be the likes of a Lando Norris, of a Charles Leclerc, a George Russell, an Alex Albon, right? But or he might even be like some of these other rookies, like Théo Pourchaire, right? He doesn't have the pedigree like those guys have, but he's consistent and he's putting in the work, right? He's waiting on the sidelines, and I'll be damned if I have to see another year go by where someone from a team's driver academy, driver program doesn't get promoted up to Formula One, right? Right? Alpine fucked it up. Let's go back to 2022. Yes, Alpine fucked it up. Yes, Alpine fucked it up with Oscar Piastri. He went over to McLaren. Yes.
Yes.
Williams, Williams picked up Logan Sargent. Williams promoted Logan Sargent, even though he finished 4th in F2, which, I mean, to be fair, is still respectable, right? As a rookie, by the way, respectable. I mean, I've got thoughts about that, but I'll save that for another episode. Like, Williams promoted, Logan Sargent. That year, Felipe Drugovich won F2. Yes. What happened? Where's Felipe Drugovich now? He's still a fucking reserve driver for Aston Martin. Okay, 2023, last year, who won the F2 championship? Théo Pourchaire. Yes. Where is he at now? He was promised an F1 seat with Sauber if he won the championship. Oh, he won the fucking F2 championship. Where is he now? He's over in IndyCar racing for Aaron McLaren. Which, not dissing Aaron McLaren, not dissing IndyCar. Racing for McLaren anywhere, so fucking, is an honor. I'll have to be completely honest with you, but the things he could have done in F1, I feel, is, it's a big what if. Colton Herta, they could have run in Colton Herta in 2022, I believe, when Gasly had his thing. I forget. I'm dwelling on that too much, right? So, right, I'm not ready. Right, I'm not ready to see 2024 another fucking junior driver get passed over for an F1 seat. I think Alpine don't want to see it. I think they're going to take that risk and promote Jack Doohan up to that team. Up to team. So it's gonna suck for whoever wins F2 this season, because Behrman's gonna get an F1 seat and he's doing piss poor in F2. So is Kimi Antonelli. But to be fair, they're both racing for Prema, and Prema's shit in the bed. So it's not their fault. So whoever wins F2 this season, I'm sorry, you're going to meet the fate of your 2 predecessors, Théo Pourchaire and Felipe Drugovich. You're not going to get an F1 seat. Sorry. Any final thoughts? I know this was all my yap, I guess. If you have any last thoughts about the driver market.
Yeah, so it's by nature of Formula One, it's a pay-to-play system. That's just the way it is. If that breaks your heart, it should, because it shouldn't be like that. But whatever, it is what it is. There are some seats that just aren't available simply because it's a pay-to-play system. That's right. We all know who I'm talking about. It's the Buddy Lance Stroll. It's that's just the way it is, right? So there are many talented drivers that aren't going to be able to see Formula One simply because they don't have the money for it, they don't have the backing for it, and it's unfortunate. But you know what? Who do I think? Who is my shoe-in for the sport? I think it's going to be. We need to have an American driver. I'm pretty sure that's in the Formula One contract because of the new owners. So I wonder who that's going to be. I can see Logan Sargent being extended for some reason. I bet you they'll send him to Haas, because you know what the thing about being the suckiest team is? you get to choose crabs from barrel. That's what it is. You get the worst drivers, and you're forced to have them. So I bet you Haas is going to have the one American driver. It's probably going to be Logan Sargent. He's not going to do that good. That's
Wow.
fine. I'll make my peace with it. But you know what?
That's
I also think that we're going to see just. I think Ollie Behrman's going to make it in somehow. No. I don't think Behrman's going to make it in. You know who
oh
I think might make it in?
wait.
Liam Lawson. And that's who my money's on.
Thanks for reminding me. I actually forgot about RB. Um,
I think Liam Lawson gets his seat, and I think Daniel Ricciardo is getting shoot out. He's getting beat way too much
sorry, I'm gonna
by.
have to. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to stop. I'm gonna pull Kanye. I'm gonna stop you right there. Yes, Daniel Ricciardo is being protected by his overlords over at Red Bull Racing, led by Christian Horner. So I think he's safe. Um, yeah, you know, so I think Danny Rick keeps his seat respectfully, and then for that second seat, as much as I want Liam Lawson in, I think we all want Liam Lawson in. I I think this is where I have to play it safe. I think most of my predictions have been crazy this silly season, but I think this is where I keep it safe. I think RB keep the same two drivers, right? I think they do. I think Liam get out of luck unless Yuki decides to jump ship because as we know, Red Bull aren't considering Yuki Tsunoda for a promotion. I mean, it's evident he was never in their long-term plans. He was only there because Honda are paying Red Bull money, right? To put him there, So pretty sure they're gonna want him there for another year. So Liam Lawson unless Yuki decides to, you know what, fuck this. If I'm not getting a chance at the top team here, I might as well go somewhere else. He might jump ship to Aston Martin ahead of the Aston Martin Honda project in 2026. But I don't think that's happening. I think we're gonna see we're gonna see another fucking junior driver get screwed out of his seat again, just like we did with Felipe Drogovic, just like we saw with Teo Porcher. Just like we're going to see with whoever wins F2 this year. Liam Lawson's going to be screwed out of his seat. Right? Liam Lawson's going to be screwed out of his seat. There's so many junior drivers that have done so well in Formula 2 and the junior formulas that are being screwed out of seats. I could name on a Frederick Vesti, Ayumu Iwata. There's so many drivers I can name. Like junior drivers just getting screwed over. They're getting fisted because Formula One is not about driving anymore. It seems. I mean, yes, it's still pay to pay, but it's not about. It's more than just their driving ability. It's how well you can market yourself. Thanks, Drive to Survive.
Yeah,
I've run out of breath. I've yapped my last yap. So if you have anything else to say, Kevin, I'll let you say it, and then
if
I'll
you
let
find
you
yourself
this out.
feeling down on your luck, just really just going through it, just be excited. Take comfort in the fact that you aren't a French guy crashing into your French compatriot and now looking at his phone. You wake up on a Tuesday morning to find out you're probably out of your seat. So take comfort in that. And with that, I leave you with just our closing credits. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I got nothing. Yeah, I think you summed up everything. Oof. Like I said, I've yapped my last yap. Sounds like you've yapped your last yap. God, that's actually a tongue twister. I've yapped my last yap, and you've yapped your holy shit. That's a tongue twister. I'm gonna use that for future episodes. um, thank you everyone for listening. To Formula Yap.
Just two guys yapping about stuff they love.
Exactly. We'll be back after Canada. Hopefully, Formula One doesn't shit the bed. Or doesn't. Let's see. Let me rephrase that. Formula One won't shit the bed. Let's see what Formula One has in store for us this weekend.
Yeah, it should be good.
It'll be an amazing race. Until next time, everyone. Keep yapping. Take care.